Millions of Americans woke up this month not knowing if their food benefits would arrive on time. People check their EBT cards again and again at the grocery store, worried that the balance might show zero. It's not a small thing when groceries are already expensive, when every dollar matters, and when families are already stretching meals just to make it through the week. The truth is, most people who rely on SNAP aren't looking for luxuries. They are trying to put bread and milk on the table, give their children breakfast before school, or help elderly parents who live on fixed incomes. And recently, those benefits were at real risk of being stopped. But a dramatic court decision changed everything, and that is what we are going to talk about today. Let's be honest, the government hasn't exactly been reliable when it comes to protecting low income families. We have seen shutdown threats, political fights, and budget delays happening over and over again. And each time it feels like the people who suffer the most are the people who are already struggling. The cost of living keeps climbing, rent keeps rising, healthcare and medicine keep getting more expensive, and wages are not keeping up. For many, SNAP is the only safety net left. So when news spread that SNAP funding could freeze, panic set in immediately. People panic because missing even 1 month of benefits can mean empty refrigerators, skipped meals, and parents choosing whether to feed their kids or themselves. Behind the scenes, USDA officials warned that contingency funds were running out. If Congress didn't approve new funding, November benefits might not go out, and it wasn't just a rumor. It was official. There was a real possibility that EBT cards wouldn't reload. Imagine that moment. You're standing in line at the grocery store, groceries on the belt, your child standing next to you. You swipe your card and it declines, not because you overspent, not because you did anything wrong, but because the government couldn't do its job on time. The biggest takeaway from this situation is simple. We must keep paying attention because the future of SNAP funding continues to depend on what happens in Congress. If another political standoff begins, benefits could once again hang in the balance. That means you deserve timely updates. You deserve someone keeping watch and warning you before it's too late. You deserve to know what your rights are and how to protect them. Benji. So if this information helped you, if you rely on SNAP or know someone who does, make sure you stay connected here. Share this video with family, neighbors, or friends who need this information. You never know whose life a message like this could change. We're talking about food, the most basic necessity. When people lose that, everything collapses. For now, you can breathe a little easier. November benefits are safe. The court stepped up and did the right thing. But the fight continues, and you deserve to be prepared. And thank you for watching, for caring, and for staying aware. There's strength in knowing the truth. There's power in community. And as long as families need help putting food on the table, we'll be right here making sure you get the real story, not rumors, not confusion, just facts that protect you and your family. Stay strong, stay prepared, and stay tuned because I'll keep you updated on every change that could affect your SNAP benefits. No one should face hunger alone, and together we'll make sure you never do. That is why this court decision matters so much. It wasn't just a legal win, it was a message. Food is not optional. Food is not political. Food is survival. And no government budget disagreement should ever cut off a family's access to groceries. Stand still, because this protection isn't permanent. I want to give you a few important reminders. Keep checking your state's SNAP website or mobile portal for updates. Don't assume everything is 500 e-bytes safe going forward. Plan ahead when possible. Buy essential items first. Make sure you know the addresses and hours of food pantries in your area just in case delays happen in the future. If you care for elderly parents, help them check their EBT status regularly. If you know a family struggling silently, now is the time to reach out. We are stronger when we watch out for one another. Gubs, what's most troubling about all of this is that the people making these decisions, the politicians arguing over budgets, most of them have never worried about whether their kids will have dinner tonight. They've never stood in a grocery line hoping their car doesn't decline. They don't know what it feels like to open the fridge and see nothing but leftovers and uncertainty. Yet they are the ones deciding whether ordinary Americans get enough to eat. That is why staying informed matters. If there's one thing this moment proves, it's how quickly benefits can be threatened without warning. But here's the hopeful part. This time people spoke up, states pushed back, lawyers fought, judges listened, and the people won at least this round. That deserves recognition. Ordinary Americans shouldn't have to fight this hard for basic human needs, but when they do, victories like this prove that voices still matter. That is where states and advocates stepped in. Several states filed lawsuits demanding protection for SNAP recipients. They argued that stopping food benefits while the government fought over budgets was not only wrong, it was illegal. They said families should never be bargaining chips in political battles. These court cases reached federal judges, and that's when something rare happened, a decision that actually protected the people for once. Banned judges ruled that the suspension of SNAP payments would be unlawful. They ordered the USDA to release benefits using available funds, no matter what was happening in Washington. As a result, November SNAP benefits were saved. Millions of Americans who rely on food assistance were able to buy groceries without delay, at least for now. This wasn't a small victory. This decision stopped a national crisis because when food assistance fails, everything falls apart. Hunger doesn't wait for Congress to agree on a bill. Children still need breakfast. Seniors still need to eat. Veterans recovering from service shouldn't have to worry if they can afford groceries. But here's something everyone needs to understand. This ruling is a temporary fix. It solved the emergency, but it didn't fix the broken system that caused the crisis in the first place. And that means something important. This could happen again. Any future government shutdown threat could put SNAP payments at risk again. The fight isn't over. Families are safe this month, but uncertainty still hangs over the future for people over Cursors. This hits differently. Many have spent decades working, raising families, paying taxes, contributing to society, and now in one of the hardest economic periods in decades, they suddenly need help to get through the month. There is no shame in that. The real shame is that our government allowed these people to get so close to losing access to food. For millions of older Americans, SNAP fills the gap that Social Security can't cover. A single grocery trip can cost what used to be a week's worth of food. Gas prices have risen. Utility bills are too high. Healthcare takes the biggest bite out of a paycheck. These are essentials, not choices. And without SNAP, too many would simply go hungry. Trends we must also remember the parents who are raising grandkids, a reality for many in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Some even lost their jobs during the pandemic and never fully recovered. SNAP is the one thing keeping meals on the table while they search for steady work. And for people with disabilities or chronic health issues, SNAP makes the difference